Today, I'm pleased to welcome to the show a woman who is about as iconic as it gets. She's a multi-platinum recording artist, dancer, and Grammy Award-winning musician. You may have heard of her. Her name's Paula. Well, Paula Abdul, that is. In addition to her legacy, her legendary onstage performances, which have inspired generations of female pop stars, she has worn many other hats in Hollywood. Please welcome Paula Abdul.
Pleasure to be here, Mr. Josh
So
Flag.
I have known Paula since I was a child. Her sister Wendy and Wendy's son Alex Mandel and I were in swim class together, and I used to go up to Paula's house when you were in Mall of Estates,
Yeah.
and I remember you made us popcorn one time. It's amazing the memories you have. And I also remember you had a bridge over the pool. Do you remember
I
that?
had a bridge over the pool, and I had a swim up. You swim up bar, and there was an aquarium.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also I remember it was so funny. I remember that. And then I remember like a week later after I was there, you must have given a tour of your house on a program on television or something.
Yes,
I don't remember what it was, but I remember you had like a Big Ben clock next to the front door.
I did.
Is that the
I did.
weirdest thing that I remember? Like
I
you, the
did.
weirdest memories as children.
And I had it's like the Sistine Chapel painted in my ceiling with my pug, like Find Waldo, with my pug Ricky in the painting. It was
Aw.
always Find Ricky.
It was like a kind of like a peach or terracotta colored house. I
Yeah.
wonder who lives there now.
I don't know. The last time I knew was I think he's one of the guys from Lincoln Park.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So, what's your ethnicity?
Well, on my father's side, Syrian and Brazilian, and on my mother's side, Russian, French, and Canadian.
Both of them Jewish?
Mother Jewish, father questionable. He was put up for adoption when he was born. He was an orphan and was adopted when he was 9 by a family called the Himmelfarbs. They bar mitzvahed him. So, but then after my parents split up, he went back to what he said his family was Catholic, and then he married a woman who became a born again.
Oh my.
So I used to say, I'm just gonna get someone and contract them to do the musical called Jesus.
Jesus.
And you'll star in it, Dad. Yeah, Wendy and I grew up like observing lots of high holidays and every other holiday.
Where did you guys grow up?
In the San Fernando Valley. Yeah.
So that's so interesting. Now, wait, is Abdul a stage name or that is your last name?
You think I'd pick Abdul as a stage name?
Well, it could be. It has a nice click to it. It has like a.
You know what's so funny is I forget that my last name is Abdul because people they always consider me as a girl next door with a name like Abdul. It's very strange.
But maybe it was shortened from like, Abdulovitz or something, it's just such, I've never heard that name before. Have you?
Well, you go to Arab nation countries. If you say the name Abdul, everyone
Well,
it's
as
like
a
John
first name.
or,
Yeah,
or,
of
or
course, as a
Bill.
first name, but never as a last name. But, Abdul is a first name, but it's interesting.
Yeah, unless you watch the Sex and the City movie and the second one where they go to
Saudi.
Yeah, and Samantha, her guy, his name is Abdul, and in the movie she calls him Paula.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Okay, so what's your secret to looking the way you do? Like green juice, meditation, like street drugs? I don't know. Like, what's your thing?
Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde? Oh, chloroform.
No, I live a healthy life. I've had dance in my life, and that's always kept me feeling good. And I surround myself with good people. And it's really weird because once I quit American Idol, like I got 7 years back on my life. It was really strange.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I'm because I didn't have to sit next to Simon anymore. He aged me.
What? Just from what? His personality of him being so boisterous. Like from what?
No, seriously, I had a great time on this show, but when I left, I got back into doing like my heart plays, things I loved doing, like performing and working on other projects. I don't know. I think that everyone's seems to be leading a healthier lifestyle now, and trying not to eat as much candy.
Are you? Which my husband told me this morning.
I know.
You really love candy, and I
Yeah,
didn't know how he knew that. I was like, what?
I'm just really proud that that's what my legacy will be. That I love to eat candy.
Yeah, right. I hope it's
No,
more
I'm
than
trying
that.
to cut back. I try to cut back, but I'm a big believer on moderation. I don't like the word diet. Um, I just want it, as long as I'm keeping active and eating in moderation, I pretty much eat what I want.
Okay, so on American Idol, tell me about your experience doing it, how you started. I mean, it's an obvious choice to have you doing it, but what was the like? Where did it come from? Where did it start?
Oh, it's such a crazy story. I mean, I had been doing. I started my career as a professional choreographer, and I was probably one of the youngest. I was the youngest successful choreographers, and when I was crossed over into doing music, I was at the height of my music career. I'd just been touring back in Spellbound tour, which was 30 years ago, and in the middle of that tour, towards the end, I went on a private plane, a seven-seater, and one of the engines blew up. I was going from one city to the next,
Wait, whose plane were you on?
a private jet.
No, I mean, were you with like?
I was with some of my tour group, and one of the engines blew up, and the right wing caught fire. We plummeted. I didn't have my seatbelt on. I hit my head. I woke up, and we were landing, like doing a surprise emergency landing in flames, and I ended up rupturing my C-spine. So at the height of my big tour, I was just finishing up. I then disappeared for many years, and because I ended up having to get multiple
Vocal surgeries?
spinal cord surgeries.
Wait, what year is this?
This is in 93, end of 93.
What was the height of your career?
Well, I was the biggest female recording artist. And
When was oh?
that was that during that tour. I had to take a long break. I had 15 surgeries.
And were you able to? Did you come right back after the?
No, I was paralyzed on my whole right side. I had to learn to walk again. They scraped my vocal cords during my 12th surgery. I had to learn to talk again.
What?
And I ended
this.
up on 7 years after that on a brand new show called American Idol. That's how I
Wait, this
came
was
back.
what year did you say this was?
93.
Well, American Idol was 2000? American Idol?
Yes, it was.
That's
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't know. Is that a known story? I didn't even know
Yeah,
about that.
it's yep. Yeah. I mean, and then the whole new generation got to know me for the first time as a judge on American Idol, and they didn't. A lot of these young kids didn't know about my career as a choreographer, or that I had sold at that time 40 million records when I started American Idol. It's now like 60 million plus, and I'm the only artist that hasn't had new music out in so long, but still in the top, top
What, you
100.
you don't make new music?
I am going to be making new music. I have been making new music. It's just that I'm waiting to get the absolute right songs that feel great for me.
Do you write songs
I do.
often?
I do. I wrote quite a bit in the past 5 years.
Do you play piano?
Really bad. My mother was a savant, like concert pianist, very famous in Canada, and she refused to let Wendy or I learn how to play the piano
Why? That sounds so random.
because she's like that's her.
Oh, because she wanted
She couldn't handle like really horrible sounding piano playing. So I was like this little shit growing up. And what instrument do I decide I want to play? An upright bass.
Oh, okay.
So I used to lean it against the wall and just stand in front of it.
That must have been the most crazy flight ever. Just were you
Yeah.
like, this is it? That's it. We're done. I'm going down this way.
It was scary, but I knew it wasn't our time to go. And I was the only one that got most damage hurt. Like other people got gashes and stitches, but I really hurt my neck. And that was just a long journey.
Do you think
get
if
past
that didn't happen, your career would be different today?
Well, I definitely think that I wouldn't have had to take such a long break, and I would have been able to um, continue with music and I wasn't able to dance for well over a decade.
That
Yeah,
must have been so hard for you because you wanted to and you just
of
couldn't.
course. I mean, the pain was excruciating. When you have spinal cord injury, and that nerve damage, it's like the worst. You learn to live like in a really abnormal, like sense of normal. It's like my level of pain for on a good day was like 6, 7, so between 1 and 10.
Do you still have chronic pain?
Knock on wood, I don't.
Thank God.
I don't. I'm doing extremely well. It's been almost 8 years since I've had.
But did
like
you have a
terrible
surgery
pain.
or what happened?
I had 15 surgeries.
No,
but
I mean, was
then
there a final one that was like, oh, thank God, it just stopped?
You know what? And this is like I it's so weird to talk about because it's probably only 30 some odd years new. But I ended up sitting next to the number 2 leading neuroscientist on a plane ride to New York one day, and he knew about my spinal cord injuries. He knew about my case, and after you've been through around the world and you're trying to be a stem cell candidate in these groups and you're trying to get better, but everything doesn't seem to be working. Nothing seems to be working. The last thing I want to hear is try my method. But this guy, genius, he was doing a symposium at Columbia University, and he told me while I was in New York to meet with him like for 45 minutes and let him work on me. He tried doing these weird audio spatial exercises and like biofeedback, and it wasn't working. And he introduced me to this amazing man in Cranston, Rhode Island, and I started doing these exercises where
Wait, isn't that ironic that you were on a plane, which caused your accident, and then you were on a plane and this guy
yes,
gave you some miracle information? Isn't that ironic?
it's ironic. And I met this guy, Dr. Victor Pedro, through my old boyfriend, and he lived in Cranston, Rhode Island, and he happened to be part of this brain trust where he's doing neuroscience, and he's a chiropractor. But how he started getting into neuroscience, which is crazy, he figured out a way to lower your golf average, your handicap, and he started putting ads in the paper saying, "I guarantee you, I'll lower your handicap. Come in and do these exercises." And some semi-pro and pro players started coming to see him, and it was working. That's how he started funding money to study more neuroscience. And anyways, needless to say, after all the surgeries I went through, after terrible medication I had to be on and cutting this, no medicine, no narcotics, no pain medicine, no needles, nothing, they rewired my neurotransmitters and to block pain. And it's worked, and I don't
Jeez.
question it, and it's been
It
amazing.
works, and just,
Yeah. And
So was that like what being on like medications and ton of that for 12 years? I mean, it takes a toll on your body probably. It makes
Well,
you
I was under 100 pounds, and I mean, I was a perfect pain management patient at Cedars Sinai, did everything as told, but the kind of medication that you have to be on, you would put a 200-pound man out, and here I was
Do you get
like
addicted
98
to it?
pounds like
Do
this.
you get addicted to
Well,
it?
you don't, like, I've never been drunk in my life. I've never done recreational drugs except for pot. But here I was now because of the spinal cord damage. I was on narcotics. So when you are in acute pain, you automatically end up becoming addicted to the medicine they're giving you. But I was a pain management patient during that time, so I followed everything that I was supposed to be doing, and being at the time like barely 100 pounds, it was amazing that I would learn how to function that way. I had to.
Okay, you mentioned boyfriend earlier. Tell me about your love life from your first boyfriend, or whenever. Let's go back to sixth grade.
Really? Are you really
No,
like?
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Your first husband, or maybe your only husband. I can't remember. I remember you were with Emilio Estevez.
I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna get right the third time if I ever do.
What?
I'll get it right on the third attempt. At least I had the courage to get married. I married a really nice guy, Emilio Estevez. We were really good friends. I have nothing but beautiful things to say to him.
Do you guys ever see each other or talk?
I
or-
have only run into him one time. It's crazy.
Where?
At a restaurant on Sunset, like years
Like Le
ago.
Petit Four or something?
No, back in the day when that incredible restaurant
Dome.
Il Soleil.
Oh my God, that was the best. Why
Wasn't
did
that
they
the best?
close that? It was so good.
Yeah, my manager used to own that restaurant.
Anyway, let's go present. We'll work backwards.
Okay, present backwards. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm dating, but I'm not dating anyone serious.
Okay.
I have not married for the third time. Just 1.5 times, I say.
One and the other one
The
name we
other
shall
one,
not
the
speak.
other one I don't remember, so it's like,
Was that good?
I don't remember. It's crazy.
Okay, so tell me about your show in Vegas.
I'm on a break right now. I did 25 shows at the Flamingo. I took over when Donnie and Marie left. It all it was an incredible experience. It's a kind of it's yes, it's all my hit songs, but it's not just a pop concert. It's really like a variety show because it's I tell the story of my life from childhood, and it's beautifully illustrated, not just through technology, but I have the most incredible dancers.
Do you handpick them yourself?
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, my show is touted as the best dancers ever in Las Vegas,
I believe it.
and I do really cool storytelling through different techniques and visual effects, and it's a wonderful show. People walk out smiling, crying, laughing, and definitely touched from it.
Do you ever get stage fright?
Every single time I get stage fright coming into even situations like this. Like seriously, I do. I get more frightened. Like okay, Friday night, for instance, I had to go to a Laker game, and I was giving a jersey out for for a lovely woman, Jennifer Greenhut. She's became a Laker for a day. She's a breast cancer survivor, and it was with UCLA Health. I had to walk out onto the forum floor at the Staples Center and give a jersey. Now, that to me, it's like I started hyperventilating, like to walk out on where I started my career on as a Laker girl. Now I am walking out on the the floor to give a jersey. I was like, I had more spilkus and
That's crazy. You've
yeah.
performed in front of more people than that.
I know, but it was just things like that are weird. No matter what, I have to go to the bathroom all the time, like multiple times. And when you put on your costumes and they're like you're doubling up because you're doing quick ripaways. So I'm having to put on the foundation and then these tights and then this bodysuit and then no matter how many times I go to the bathroom right before I have to go on stage, I have to go again. Like horribly. Like
Well, stop drinking water.
it has nothing to do with that. It's just psychologically. But once I step on stage, I'm fine. I don't have to go anymore.
When they start clapping, then you feel.
No, but it's like even doing speaking engagements, I get that nervous feeling. I could be walking in front of 10 people or 40,000 people. It's the same thing.
That's crazy. Okay, so talk to me about American Idol. We got off topic. So,
Yeah.
what was your career like? What was the.
Okay, so just as the truth, my very first. Okay, you asked me how I got. You want to hear a crazy story how I got American Idol?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to hear
This is a
everything.
long one. You're gonna have to chop this up like crazy.
Well, give us the 3
Okay,
minute
I'm gonna
version.
try because none of it makes sense.
Okay.
You're gonna think I'm making this stuff up, but she can attest to you I'm not. Okay, so I fell in love working in television when I was a choreographer, and I started working for the Tracy Ullman Show. It was a brand new show.
I went to school with her daughter, Mabel.
Mabel,
Yeah.
of course.
She went to Brentwood.
I knew Mabel when she. Okay, so I worked with the great James L. Brooks, who created the show. He became my mentor. I fell in love working with TV there. Anyways, when I was working there, I got a gift certificate. It's just crazy for during the holidays to go see a psychic. The reason I'm saying that is because it was a very specific time. I went to see the psychic in the Valley that people from the Tracy Ullman Show knew about and said she's great. She's like kind of like Italian, like mafia sounding woman named Dolores Cartolucci. She's incredible.
You sound like you were just possessed, like the woman from
Dolores.
Ghost.
She's awesome. But I remember going to see her one day, and I saw Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston walking out. Like famous people go to Van Nuys to this psychic, and I remember going to see the psychic, and in the room she would read. She'd ask you to give your phone or your keys or piece of jewelry. She'd go into her room for literally 15 seconds max, come out and start spitting a whole bunch of things that's happening in your life about you. And I had never been to a psychic before.
Wait,
And
hopefully you didn't give her your driver's license because she could just look up all your information.
No. She was so good. She was her other profession. She'd find missing children. You know, she'd help the police.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, so she's just the real deal. But she started telling me that, okay, all right. you're going to be doing a talent type of show. And I said, no. And she goes, yeah, it's got singing. I said, I'm not doing Star Search. I'm like, I'm not doing
Star
it.
Search.
This is like, I mean, that's all I could think about, you know, is that's all I knew, a reference. I go, there's no way. She goes, I'm not telling you, you willed it to happen. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. You have to either take it, don't take it. And she was telling me that it's going to be one of the most incredible jobs for me, that I think that, she goes, you think that you've really transcended with your music? You have no idea. This is going to be a huge television show, and you're going to be, it's going to be bigger than ever, and you're going to be known around the world, way more than you are known for your music. And I'm listening, and she goes, but it's going to be the most damn difficult job of your life. There's someone across the pond that you're sitting next to, and he is
That's
a
funny.
nasty guy. And there's another African American guy, and you know him. And I'm like, what is she talking about? And I'm going, and she goes, and it's going to be a big production, either Paramount or Fox. And I swear to God, she's telling me all this. I didn't pay any attention.
She
to
said
it.
an English guy? Oh, that's funny.
And I'll be sitting next to him and someone, an African American guy that I already know. Long story short, you know, I tape recorded it. I had it. Forgot all about Dolores Cartolucci in my reading. Okay. Now remember, the key thing she said is, I'm telling you because you willed it to happen. So smash cut to, I forget about this. Then I end up writing a song during all the times that I've been injured with.
How many years later?
This is within 3 years. And one of the songs I co-wrote with Cara Diaguardi was a song called Spinning Around. And we gave it to Kylie Minogue. She hadn't had major success or a re-signing, and she was out way before me, and she was huge with Locomotion. Needless to say, Kylie recorded the song. It entered the UK charts #1. And now it went #1 in every, and now here I am on a break from having surgeries. I'm like, thank you, God. You know, this is incredible. But during all of this, I get a call from my attorney saying, hey, there's a show in the UK, and every kid's coming in and singing a cappella to the song that you and Cara wrote, and they need your permission. And here I am thinking, I'm in the worst pain ever. I need something to divert my energy away from pain. Maybe I could find out about this TV show. So here I'm calling the UK, asking to speak about a show. And
Who are you calling?
I'm calling the attorney for the production company. I keep getting hung up on because they don't believe it's me, Paula Abdul, until I had to sing straight up.
What?
Seriously. So after 12 attempts...
Literally, like, they think you're, like, some Looney Tune is
say,
calling right now?
Bollocks, and they'd hang up the phone. So finally, I can hear, bloody hell, it's her. and so this woman comes on the phone, and she's a producer named Claire Howell. I remember her name. And she starts to tell me about, there's a show called Pop Idol.
Oh, that's funny.
Remember, Dolores Cartolucci said that I willed it to happen. So here I am, because I was nosy enough and I wanted to see if I could get involved. I said, maybe I can help when you get down to the final contestants. I knew nothing about the show. And they said, oh, well, it's, you know, we just started, but it's such a huge success. The Queen clears her diary to vote.
Oh,
I said, what?
Are you kidding me?
What do you mean? I go, she goes, the country votes. I go, she goes, oh, and these kids have to sing in front of, sandwiched between two horrible people. One is an A&R guy and a producer, and his name's Simon Cowell. And the other one is a producer, Pete Waterman, who produced ABBA and Ace of Base. And I'm just listening to this, not paying attention. And she goes, and then there's this nice woman who works in radio between them. But these kids sing, and these two gentlemen say that you're crap right in front of your face. And I'm going, you're kidding me. And I said, well, when you get to a place, maybe I can come and help the kids with stage presence. And she goes, we're right at the beginning of the show, I'll stay in touch with you. I swear to God, forgot about everything. 3 months later, she says, we're getting down to the final, you know, top 12. But I had just taken a job to choreograph Dana Carvey's comeback film, because he had health problems, and he was coming back, and I just signed on to do Master of Disguise, choreograph this movie. So when I got the call to come to the UK, I couldn't. I just started working on this brand new movie. So She said, don't worry about it. The show is so huge that I guarantee in 9 months or so, there'll be a bidding war in the States for this show. Don't pay attention. Forget about all this. Never thought of Dolores Cartolucci. Nothing. 9 months later, I get a phone call from my attorney that Fox wants me to come in, and there's a show that they are interested in me doing. It's some kind of talent show.
Wait, why you? Like, who was the idea? Was it to call you?
The
British people?
Unbeknownst to me, I know nothing. All I know is that I'm getting a call to go into Fox to meet. And at this point, I was praying that I could get into television, do something that would divert me away from the pain and stuff I was going through. So I go and I meet a whole table of Fox executives and this company, Fremantle. And there's like 18
I've
people.
heard of Fremantle.
Okay.
Sure.
So I'm in the room and I'm listening to some of the British people going, okay, this was from Nigel too. He goes, what we're looking for is someone who once was famous, who the older brothers and sisters and parents will know who they, listen to this, like, and everyone's like, and like, this person had no idea that why I disappeared or anything, but it was so funny because now.
Did you cry or were you like?
No, I was paying attention. And as I'm being told about this show, still not thinking about Dolores Cartolucci, I'm thinking about Pop Idol, my conversation with this woman, Claire. I go, oh, I know this. I go, yeah, I know who Simon Cowell is. And how do you know who Simon? I go, I'm not going to say anything. I'm thinking, how do they not know? I said, well, I knew about this show. I was going to come down and work on the show. Is Claire Howell in this room? They go, how do you know Claire? I said, I spoke to her. And then I held my breath. I stopped talking because I'm thinking, all right, when does this start? And like before all of this is happening, I hear an acerbic British guy. And then I heard, and Randy Jackson, not the member of the Jackson 5. And now I'm saying going, wait a minute, how did they not know? And by the way, they don't know that I choreographed them. And here's the interesting thing. The only other Randy Jackson I ever knew was this R&B African-American musician who played bass for the group. He was a bass player for Journey. Okay?
Love Journey.
And how I met Randy Jackson was I used to teach these dance and cheerleading camps, like at college universities. And I was smart enough to start thinking about how can we make our camp, USA, bigger and better than all the competition out there. So I started seeing what bands trailed the college universities that we're at. And I saw Journey was a band that was in all the college cities that we were in. So I bartered deals to get all these tickets, and the winners of the kids in the dance and cheerleading camps could go to Journey concerts, and I could get like quarter on the dollar tickets. Like I was like a businesswoman at that time. And I called up the promoter of Journey and said, how would you like hundreds of cheerleaders in their outfits at the show? And they said, great. So how I met Randy Jackson for the first time was while I was a teacher, a dance and cheerleading instructor. I met Randy because I got to meet the band of Journey. Smash cut to years later, Randy Jackson is a music A&R. Who is he A&Ring? And I get a phone call from? I get a call from my friend, my dance agent, saying, I got the weirdest phone call, but Randy Jackson, who is an A&R guy at Columbia Records, works with a guy named Michael Bolton, and they want to know if you're the brat that he used to babysit.
That's funny.
And that's how I met up with Randy again. And the coolest thing ever is I ended up taking Michael Bolton to the Grammys, and I happened to be announcing the category of Best New Male, and I gave the award to Michael Bolton, my babysitter at 7.
That's
but
so
smash
cute.
cut to that. So I'm all of a sudden I'm thinking Dolores Cartolucci.
In the meeting?
In the meeting. It's like my life is flashing from
I'm
me.
thinking of the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg when she's the
By the way, Whoopi used to be my roommate. Swear.
What?
Yeah. See, this is a podcast
In Northridge?
that needs to be like 15 podcasts.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
No.
Wait,
So-
tell me something. Wait, hold on. Where was she a roommate?
When she had just done Color Purple, and she was getting ready to do the movie Jumping Jack Flash,
Why were you guys roommates?
because we were both managed by the same manager. It was me, Whoopi, and a new comedian, Bobcat Goldthwait, and Rucker Howard. Don't ask
Oh my
me
God!
how or why.
I knew
Lady
the
Hawk.
daughter. One second, Cat Goldblade. What would you say, Bobcat?
Bobcat the
I knew
Screamer.
the daughter. His daughter.
Yeah, when I was moving out,
Do you remember her?
I didn't. I only knew Bobcat then. I was a choreographer, just becoming a recording artist at the time. But yeah, I love Whoopi. We go way, 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 way back.
Where did you guys live?
On Clark Street off of Sunset, behind Duke's.
Remember Duke's?
Yes.
How good was breakfast
The
at
best
Duke's?
thing.
It was the best.
The best.
Oh, I miss the tables, remember? And
Yes.
the eggs and the
Yes.
sourdough. Oh, it was the best.
No, I have a colorful life, Josh Flagg. Getting back to Dolores Carlucci, now it's all hit. Now I'm going,
It's all coming together.
all coming together. Nasty Guy, Simon Cowell, Randy Jackson, not the Jackson 5 Randy Jackson, but I'm thinking, how do they not know that I know all of this? Then I'm thinking, how did they not know that I'm one of the co-writers of Spinning Around for Kylie? Like, nothing was making sense. And then I said this, when does his show start? Well, Paula, it starts. Gonna have to pack your bags. It starts in 2 days. So my heart jumps into my stomach, and I'm going, wait a minute, this is supposed to be my job. I know all about, like they said that there's these two, there's a comedian and a radio DJ at Star, named Ryan Seacrest and Brian Dunkelman. Like, I'm going, oh my God, how am I being at? So I knew right then and there, this doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to be my show. I knew all about it. Dolores Carlucci, I willed it to happen because I called about Spinning Around, all of this stuff. And I'm thinking at the same time, this guy's saying that you leave in a couple of days. So my first initial reaction was, well, I wish I would have known because I'm really busy. I had nothing. I had no job. I had no thing that I was committed to. And I remember the saying, under his breath, saying, well, I wouldn't be so hasty. Remember, you haven't had your career for a while.
Oh my.
And I remember saying, well, my mom once told me, better a has-been than a never was.
Oh.
And I ran out of the room, and they were chasing after me saying, you're fantastic, you were great, and we need that spunk, that. And I just knew at that point, this is the weirdest experience, because I know I'm supposed to be doing this job, but it just didn't feel right. And I decided, you know what? What the hell do I have to lose? I know that what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sticking up for those kids. And I believed in the show. And at that time, they only contracted 8 episodes. No one believed in the show. They didn't think it was going to last. They thought it would last 2 weeks. And I was thinking, how is there going to be a winner? And that show overnight on the first episode changed the trajectory of television as we know it, and everyone's lives, including mine. And my very first day of work, we were filming in LA. I hadn't even met Simon Cowell yet. I knew Randy. Randy and he'd known me since I was a cheerleader. And the craziest thing is, I remember quitting 8 times that day. Like, I could not believe how nasty this guy was. I knew what to expect, but my jaw was on the floor. And I remember they wouldn't let me quit. And I swear to God, this is 4 years ago. I was at the grocery store, and this man comes up to me and goes, hi, I don't know if you're going to ever remember me, but I was your sound guy on your first day of work at American Idol. I go, oh, when I tried to quit a few times, he goes, 8 times.
What do you mean you tried to quit? You said, I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing this. I can't, these kids are crying. He's saying the most horrible, god-awful things. I'm not going to, this is terrible. And I hung in there.
So what's your relationship with him?
We have the craziest, it's a brother-sister relationship. I know he loves me. I love him too, in a brother-sister way. I think karmically, the weirdest thing is we always end up somehow working together again. So, but it was time for me to quit. I actually was the very first person to ever quit.
Why did
on
you
Twitter.
quit?
I quit on Twitter.
Why did you do that?
Look, the president is only president for eight terms, right?
8 years.
8 years. I mean 8 years.
2 terms.
2 terms, 8 years.
If they're lucky.
But anyways, the president's only president for 8 years. I've been there 9, and my contract was up. And honestly, it just was my time to go. I felt like I don't want to do another season. I felt like, and if I ever could prove my worth, it would be, what would happen if I left? Well, 72% of the population stopped watching.
So did
No.
they want you to stay on?
No, so this is what happened. They weren't being fair with negotiations. And I had already done my job. I loved being there. I was very grateful. I had the best experience. I also had one of the most trying experiences. And I do speaking engagements, and I tell people, I credit Simon and Nigel as some of my best teachers. And not all teachers come in the prettiest of packaging all the time. But, I've always been a strong girl, but I've been a kind person. And people mistake kindness for weakness. And I feel like it's my biggest strength because I could choose to be otherwise.
So your contract's up, they're being cheap, and
I decided that I believe in myself, and I'm going to get back to doing things I haven't been able to do in decades. So I quit. No one believed that I would. And of course, the first person who called me, I just remember in New York at Del Frisco's restaurant, over watching the Times Square and the ticker did it. And I saw 30 seconds. I remember telling my assistant, okay, hit send. No, don't hit send yet. It's like, I was with my attorney. I'm going, okay, Angela, hit send now. No, don't hit send yet. I was like driving her crazy. But when I did it right at 5 o'clock, which was 8 p.m. East Coast time, and it said.
Within how many minutes?
30 seconds.
Who decided to put that up, or it just literally follows?
It follows the newsfeed, and Twitter shut down. And then it was how could this happen? And then I met my cousin Tara, and she met me at JFK, and we were flying out of the country. And I remember I get a phone call at the airport, and it's a block call. I answered. He goes, I hear, fucking hell, Simon. I'm going, yeah, Simon, I figured it was you. And he goes, oh, I can't believe you did it. I go, yeah, well, you know what? You could have, if you wanted me to stay, you could have helped me stay. He goes, what are you talking about? Oh my God, you can't do this. And I said, I did it. And he goes, I've got a great idea. I said, what? You want me to do a new show that you want to bring called X Factor? He goes, oh, fuck off. And because I know Simon, we know each other very well. And I hung up the phone. He called back. He goes, I can't believe you did this. And then the next call I got, swear to God, was from Donald Trump.
What?
Hello, Paula. This is Donald Trump. I go, yeah. And I thought it was my sister Wendy having someone play a prank on me. And I hung up and said, no, it is. He goes, I want you to be on Celebrity Apprentice. Those are my first 2 phone calls I got.
Wait, but hold on. Why did he call you the minute you quit?
He couldn't believe I quit.
But he could have called you to do it at the same time. No, I'm talking about Donald. Why did he call you to do something? Why didn't he want you to do that even while you were on?
Well, no. But think about it. He's casting his show. What would be the biggest, at that breaking news, what would be the biggest thing? Oh, Paula's first project that she does is now going to be Celebrity Apprentice.
And so, wait, hold on. You didn't tell me when Simon called back and said, I have something perfect for you.
I said, I know. You want to bring X Factor to America? And he goes, I go, I know you, Simon. And we were laughing. And then karmically, I ended up doing X Factor America.
But did they try and, once you quit, that was kind of negotiating power for you to be like, to the studio, be like, but do you want me back? I mean, I'm going to do it.
But see, Josh, I had a great time working with them. And honest to God, it was time for me to move on, and it wasn't a matter of, if they pay me X amount of dollars, I'll go back. I left right at the best time for me, and I was already knowing what I wanted to do next, and it took a lot of thought. I didn't just decide on a whim. I felt like I had an incredible time, a great experience. It changed my life. It was the biggest, while I was on the show, up until when I left, there were over 30 to 35 million people watching. It was the biggest show ever. And while I was on the show, we nurtured and cranked out superstars.
All right. So then since 2000 with American Idol, you haven't had any quiet moments or breaks in your career. It keeps going.
I've been doing lots of projects and things that I'm really passionate about. And one of them was just getting in front of an audience again and being able to perform. I didn't know if anyone would come see me in concert. So,
of course they would.
Well, you know what? The coolest thing is Live Nation said when they put the tickets on sale, it was the biggest spike in tickets for a total package tour, um, and I hadn't done it, and I hadn't performed on TV either, like at a live event, a live show. And I was asked by Dick Clark Productions this past year, in May, I performed on the Billboard Awards. Now, no one knew what to expect. They asked me to do a medley of my hits, and they had me. I was the only artist. I closed the show. I had to work across 3 huge stages, like a football field, and it was an out of body experience. And from the moment that happened, that performance changed my life because it became the most watched performance, and I was trending #1 in news for over 2 weeks. People from Ellen were doing spoofs about because I jumped off a tower. I was being flip flopped all around, and that same day I announced my residency. So it's been nonstop for me since.
So after the plane crash, what was your first actual performance in front of an audience, in a concert?
In a concert, my first performance in a concert was 3 years ago when I did the Total Package tour.
So what is next for you?
Well, I'm going to continue with a residency. I'm working on that right now. It looks like that I'm going to be starting back up this summer, in June probably. Hopefully it's going to be the Paris Hotel. And I'm also producing a couple of television shows.
Really?
One of them's animation. I'm bringing Scat Cat back for children's programming, and producing a couple of one scripted show, one non-scripted. And I can't tell you, but it'll be announced. I'm going to be on television again coming up in a few months because I'm going to be doing a TV show.
You were the first female artist to get 4 Billboard Hot 100 hits. What was going through your mind at this time?
It was strange for me. I mean, I was the first female artist to get 4 consecutive #1 hits. And I have one of the longest running histories of being in the top 100. I have one of the longest albums at #1 I've had some crazy records, and I just pinched myself, and what went through my mind all that time was like, I'm still the same girl from the Valley. I haven't changed. I'm still the same girl from the Valley. And, it was very important for me to cultivate the friendships that I made through grade school and junior high and high school, and keep nurturing that while I was trying to navigate the whole new journey of me becoming famous.
Have you ever visited your Hollywood star?
Yeah, that was crazy.
No,
too.
I said, have you ever visited it?
Have I visited? I don't have to visit because my fans visit it all the time, and they send me pictures.
When was the last time you actually saw it?
The last time I walked around that area was the last time that Idol their finale was at the Dolby Theater. But then it was the Kodak Theater, because it was right down near between the Chinese Theater and Galaxy area. So that was the last time.
Do you want children?
Gee, how about those Lakers? That's a nice segue. When's the last time you went to see the Star? You want children?
It's called ADD.
And I've got it. I'm there with you, brother. I'm there. I have it bad.
Are you happy?
I like bikes.
Are you happy? How about them Dodgers? Are you happy that you never had kids? Or?
No, I honestly, I thought I'd be a grandmother by now. I thought I'd have 3 children and be a grandma. I'm a nurturer. I think it's been proven, like on shows like American Idol. I'm old-fashioned, though. I thought that I needed to have a husband that was my thinking, and I wish I didn't think that way then. But yeah, I mean, I'm a godmother to so many kids, and I feel like I have so many young people that I mentor and that I help out, and I love that.
What was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened? On stage, off stage, in your career?
That's like, Josh, I've had over 30 plus
I know,
year
so
career.
you pick
How
the
am I
top
gonna
3.
pick
I can tell
okay.
you most embarrassing things in my life. Everyone can
Okay.
think of what comes to your mind
How
first.
about starting as a Laker girl? I peed from laughing all over the forum floor, and Magic noticed it, and the ball boys had to clean it up, and it was embarrassing. Then I went and peed on Arsenio Hall's show from laughing.
From
I peed on his couch. Yeah, from laughing. See, because Arsenio...
From laughing so hard?
Arsenio was a very close friend of my family's, and like he was at my sister's house, Wendy, and Alex was probably 7 at the time, 6 or 7, and Arsenio had Alex on his shoulders, and they were running up and down, and
in the hallway.
Yeah, and of course he accidentally lost his footing and bammed Alex's head into an Aldo Luongo painting. I'll never forget it. And
wait, I think I remember. Wait, was that in the hall when you walked through the front door?
Yes.
Isn't that weird how you have literally? I remember you walked through the door. Remember, didn't she have a white Jeep Grand Cherokee at the time, or a Wagoneer?
That was me. That was mine.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I thought that was Wendy's car.
No, she ended up getting a Range Rover. Yeah.
It was a white.
Well, she did have. She did.
I remember it was a white Wagoneer with the wood on the outside.
She did. Okay. Yeah, she did. That's a long time ago. But I remember, like, Arsenio knew family, like, secrets, like things my sister used to do to me. Like, my sister used to tell me that it's really bad to grow boobs, and that, like, the only way that you won't grow boobs is if you rub Vaseline intensive care on each side of your breasts and blow 20 times, okay? Oh. And I used to do it religiously, and Wendy would charge $0.25 and have her friends come watch on the outside of the door with the door cracked, and then she got grounded, and then my sister would tell Arsenio, well, you know what she used to do to me? She'd make me laugh, and then she'd pin me down, and she'd pin her knees on my arms, and I did. I used to straddle her and pin my knees down on her arms, and I used to do the spit trick.
That sounds really weird. You used to straddle your sister.
Well, I did, and I put my knees on her arms while she's laughing, and I'd do the spit trick, and I'd let it get down really close to her face, and then I'd slurp it back up. And so, like, all these things Arsenio knows, because he's been friends with us for forever. And then he gets a talk show, and then I'm on the show, and he proceeds to start telling rubbing the Vaseline intensive care.
Lovely.
And I started laughing, and I'm chasing him around his set, and then...
You peed again?
Well, what happens is my sister and I have very weak bladders, and we laugh a lot. And my sister has a laugh that her vein, we both have this vein here that pops up. My sister, Wendy, laughs like this. And in between that, my laugh is, and so you'd hear,
okay, you sound like Carol Connors.
So that would be happening. So that's happening. And whenever my sister and I laugh, we sit Indian style and we pee.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. So I was running and I was laughing. And I went back to his couch and I sat Indian style, and he goes, she's peeing. And I was peeing. I couldn't help it.
Wait, so besides peeing
okay, so that's
times,
embarrassing. Okay.
What else was embarrassing?
What's embarrassing? Wardrobe malfunction, singing Rush Rush, and at the Forum. Oh, how about that? I leave being a choreographer for Laker Girls, right? And I come back when I leave 2.5 years later, and I'm sold out at the Forum 3 nights, and they retired my Laker Girl uniform, put it in plexiglass next to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. How about that? Who gets to say that? That's pretty cool. But here I was at the Forum. It's my hometown. It was like I knew every peanut vendor. Like, it was such a love fest, and every security, and it was incredible. But I remember during Rush Rush, my long dress, the zipper went from the nape of my neck all the way down to the crack of my butt, and the whole zipper broke.
Oh, shit.
And I remember my hair and makeup guy, Daniel. I made him come out on stage holding the back of my dress, and he was mortified. He had stage fright. Things like that. I've had terribly embarrassing things. I've had jokes pulled on me on American Idol, which the crowd or the audience doesn't know. Like, I would always look like I was the donkey, pin the tail on the donkey. But what people didn't realize is that they would play jokes on me all the time. Like for instance, Simon loved playing a game called the Name Game, and during live television, which the producers hated, because what he'd do is, while the kid's performing, he'd go, "Oh, Paula, try to say something really interesting. You're boring. Say that the moth that finds a melon ball inside of a wonton will win." And I'm like, what? And at that point, Ryan's already going to Randy and asking for Randy to comment. And he keeps leaning into my left ear going, "Say the moth that finds a melon ball inside of a wonton will win." And now Ryan looks at me and he goes, "What's going on?" And I'm going, all I'm trying to do is formulate a great critique for these kids. And I looked at Ryan. I said, he's saying in my ear, a moth that finds a million bones. And little, unbeknownst to me, the camera goes to Simon, and he's making the cuckoo sign with his hand, and then taking the Coca-Cola cup and going, as if, right? So now the whole country and world thinks that I'm drinking on the job and that I'm a Looney Tune.
Oh.
And honest to God, those are the things that would happen to me that the
So did you scream at him? Did you get in a fight with him?
We get in fights all the time because I go, take it back and say that exactly what you did. No. And I was tormented on that show. I was like the little sister that was tormented.
So why didn't you ever torment them back? Or
I learned to. It took me a while. I mean, I got, at that time, everyone's now, commenting on messages. It's like, it's social media. People can write whatever they want. So people are on message boards. But what is wrong with you? You're being so stupid. Get them back. And I listened to so many different people's versions of how to get Simon. And I tried them out. And by the third and fourth season, I was starting to find my own footing and voice. And once I started fighting back, that's when Simon really loved me.
Well, you made it for 4 seasons. Clearly, they liked you. I mean, clearly...
No, I mean, for me, I started having fun now because now there was a real banter and silliness and fighting back. But, for many years, people didn't know. They still didn't know. But I think towards the end, everyone knew that I was always the target of being made fun of and all my
But you rolled with it.
I did. I mean, here's the thing. There's never been a duo like Simon and I ever again on television, and it's just it was the three of us, a perfect storm. And you couldn't calculate or predict that. It just worked.
Okay, another Laker question, totally shifting again. How about them Dodgers? Have you ever had any like really weird fans that you just like were crossing the line, like you needed to like get rid of?
Okay. Yeah, here's a story. I'm at my gynecologist's office. It's funny because in my gynecologist's office, there's a pop-up Starbucks. It's the only place you can get a pap smear and a latte.
I would love to go, even though I don't need a gynecologist. I just want the coffee.
Only I could say that. So here I'm at gynecologist, and you have to leave a urine sample. Well,
which wasn't hard for you whatsoever.
Yeah, it's easy for me. I wasn't laughing, so it was harder. But the weirdest thing happened as my doctor comes in. He goes, "Where's your urine sample?" I said, I left the urine sample. I swear to God, it's missing.
Oh,
it's
God.
not there. And it just so happened that one of the women who worked there took it because her son was such a big fan.
You're kidding me.
I'm not.
How did they find it? How did they find out who it was?
She messed up
and got fired.
I don't know. It just was extremely awkward. I just had a look on my face like,
you're a wacko.
Oh my God.
Why would you want my pee?
You never know. You just never know these things.
Do you have a lot of people, like when you go to restaurants, do you get stopped all the time?
I do, but it's always charming. It's never anything really.
You're polite, obviously.
Of course I am.
Is there ever a time where I've done this before, where I've been eating and it's just, I'm chewing my food and they want to talk, and I'm just like, I really appreciate I do, but I'm trying to enjoy my meal. Not often, but once in a while.
I will always say I'm happy to take a picture as soon as I'm done eating, and if they're leaving, I'll make it the exception. But this is what I learned as a little girl growing up. I remember eating with my family, and we were eating at this place called Little Tony's in the Valley.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, Little Tony's Italian restaurant. And one of my my favorite shows was Little House on the Prairie. And next to our table
Melissa Gilbert.
No, it was Michael
Landon.
And
another one I went to school with their kids.
You've gone to school with everyone's kids.
I swear to God, I maybe went to school with your kids and you don't even have them.
I remember it because I used to always carry a little autograph book. I don't it with a little pink pencil with a little pom-pom on it, and I had it in my little purse. And my mom said, wait till they're done eating and they're paying the bill. And my parents raised me right.
Yeah.
So here I was, and I was waiting, and they were paying the bill, and I went up and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Landon, I'm a big fan of yours. can I have your autograph? And he was adamant that he's with his family. Absolutely not.
Oh.
My mother, of course, cursed him out. I'm kidding. No, my mom. No, but it's like I had to learn to respect that. You know,
But it wasn't while he was eating. It was afterwards.
No, but still, it's still everyone has their right and prerogative to have. But I remembered at that point, I said, if I ever become famous, I'm going to sign every kid's autograph.
That's funny. Can you just sing the chorus of
Shut up.
Just do it. I mean, we don't use it. I just want to hear it.
No,
Straight up, don't.
I'll dance it.
Just sing straight up, don't
Come
tell
on,
me.
do you know how many people tell me to ask me to do this?
Just do
Josh,
one line.
Why?
One
I'm
line.
not going to do it.
One
it's
line.
cornball. It's
I'll
like,
pay you.
No, how much?
$1 million. How much?
No, how much?
How much? Well, now we're talking. So cute. So wait, hold on. When you choreograph, like, what's the first step? The song or the
music?
So the music comes, and then you just get a bunch of dancers, and you go, okay, let's figure this out.
Well,
You're gonna like, how does it come to you?
the music is everything, unless there's no music for a reason, and then then it becomes a theme that you're choreographing around. There's a lot of times, like for Coming to America, there was no music yet. It was just a drum loop. So I worked off of African beats. You know, think about this too. When I was doing a lot of my choreography, award-winning choreography, the internet we didn't have that. So that I couldn't research anything online. I'd have to go to the library and look at periodicals, you know. So you had to really be creative and imagine and create.
So we're gonna go to Craig's for dinner?
Sure.
When they can like take your
Sure.
photograph and not mine, they'll be like,
Sure.
Josh, get out of the way. That literally actually did happen one time at Craig's. Somebody really important came by, and they know my name. It's not like they don't know who I am. It's coming in, they're taking their picture, and I'm literally just happened to be walking by to go to the valley. Josh, move! I'm like, Jesus, this is like great.
You know, it happens to the best of us.
I don't really care, to be honest with you. I just was hungry.
I love when people go, look at her, she looks like Paula Abdul. I love that. Oh, you know, I want to say, this is the truth. I am so blessed to have the best fans that have been there for me through the thickest and thinnest of times, through everything, that have never left my side. And it's so fun for me now being able to perform and seeing people that still have my ticket stubs from 30 years ago.
Aww.
And when they come and they have me sign them, it's
Do you
amazing.
still have do you still have your autograph book from when you were a child?
Oh, I have plenty of them.
No, the little one with the pink
the
frizzy
little one,
thing.
the pink one. No, I don't. I can't find it. Maybe I would be able to find it.
All right, anyway, how can our fans find you? I mean, in social media terms.
In Century City.
Oh,
like the
God,
mall.
Jesus. Let's not tell it.
Walking at the mall.
In Century City in the mall.
Yeah, like I like going there, you know. seeing
No,
a
where
movie.
can they find you on social media?
I'm at Paula Abdul. It's really difficult.
Well, I don't know. Somebody took Josh Flag, so now I'm Josh Flag 1.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah, can you believe that fucker won't give me my name?
Yeah, he'll give it to you.
I've tried. He literally doesn't care. And he's like
Is his name Josh Flagg?
Yes.
It is.
But
Well,
it's not like, I mean, he's not like a famous, he's just some random person. I think he has 2 followers. I'm like, I'll give you money. And he's like, no. Oh, he's a musician, apparently. Well, there you go. Well,
Yeah.
Josh Flag.
There aren't any Paula Abduls. I know that.
There might be some.
Oh, no, there are tons of people who have Paula Abdul 1, Paula Abdul.
No, but do you think there is actually another Paula Abdul out there?
I'm not aware of it.
We're going to find her.
Please, if you do.
I'm going to
If
find
you do,
her.
I really don't want to meet her because knowing myself is enough.
That's right.
Okay.
On that note, I adore you. Thank you for being
I
here.
adore you too, honey.
And what did Walter Cronkite say? And that's the news.
And that's the news. And I'm forever your girl.